Let's go, baby.
Yep.
It's about to be a problem. I just if y'all don't know these three faces that you see on this screen, you will know very soon that we about to drop that knowledge on all kind of different ideas, subjects. We talking about sports. We're gonna be talking about life. Actually, this thing kind of let me. I'm DM, and right there to my right on the screen is Dante. Shout out to Dante.
How y'all doing?
And right there below us, right there is my homie Doug.
What's up? What's up?
You see what I'm saying? So we out here. Let me pull this music back because we loud. And we out here. We decided, we're gonna get together. We always talk and have a conversation. And this joke really kind of birthed through our text group we got. You know what I'm saying? I know there's hundreds of thousands of fellas text groups out there where the homies just kind of sitting there talking, running it, talking about life, talking about whatever sports events going on, talking about all kind of different things, right? And so we are part of one, you know what I'm saying? And we got some other guys that we're going to bring into the podcast and talk to us sometimes. But for the most part, man, it's just, we're going to be your host.
Right.
And so we think we got a name, but we going to wait till we throw it out there. We got a good name, but we're going to wait till we throw it out there. So we're just going to kind of run it on this episode. But welcome to the podcast. You know what? Forget it, y'all. If we're going to go with it, we're going to go with it, right? I know we ain't talking about it.
I don't know what you waiting on.
We're going to call this the Evergreen Pod. You heard what I'm saying? The Evergreen Podcast. Y'all like that?
I
love it.
The Evergreen. The Evergreen because, we keep it evergreen, you know what I'm saying? And we, hold on, man. Somebody texting me right now. Let me turn this off. What is that? Do y'all hear that dinging?
Yes.
Oh, man. Let me get up on my phone. Hold on. Log out. Quit.
Like, get in trouble, man.
Hey, that's exactly how trouble happens. But once again, we here. We're going to call this the Evergreen Podcast, and we keep it evergreen because even though we talk about current events, we're still talking about things that last, that will be talking about it for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and it'll still be relevant to wherever you are in life at that particular time. How y'all feeling, fellas? Y'all good?
I'm ready. I told you, look, when I came in the room,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I feel like it was game day. I saw the setup. I was like, I'm ready.
Let's go.
Like, I'm ready. I thought I was in front of 100,000 people, man. I was geeked up.
Hey, them lights will do it to you, boy. When the lights come on.
Yeah.
You good, Don?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm ready to roll, man. I've been excited about this. I know we tried something like this at another time and place, but yeah, seeing it develop, seeing it come to life, I'm excited, man.
I'm trying not to smile too much, because I'm a bit cheesing, dog, but I feel good, bro.
People don't realize, like, it came to life in one day.
One day. Matter of fact, we talked about it. We met about it 2 days ago. What's it today? I don't know. I ain't going to say the date because it's evergreen, right? But we talked about 2 days ago, and then we're here today. And I like it like that. I don't play no games, man. If we're going to talk about doing something, let's get to it and do it. You know what I'm saying? You only got one life, right? You don't get no time back. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we just do it now. So that's the wave, man. We just talking about sports. I ain't going to jump into the playoffs right now. Right. Because the playoffs, man, my poor Lakers. Our poor Lakers.
Right. Yeah, for real.
It's like, God, dog. But I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Hopeful about next year. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
you ain't hopeful, Doug?
I mean, look, let me tell you something, bro. Like, I think everybody in here, man, like, in this room is a big. We're not Laker fans, like we're LeBron advocates, right?
LeBron fan.
And so for me, man, it's like when he lose, bro. Like when I was a kid, true story. When I was a kid, I was in love with North Carolina basketball. Rasheed Wallace, Stackhouse, and when them boys lost the game, I remember one time they lost to Wake Forest with Tim Duncan and all them boys. Man, I cried. Now I'm 34 years old now. You hear me?
I ain't laughing at you, bro.
And when he lose, bro, I feel some type of way.
I do.
Yeah.
I've had to check myself.
Yeah, like, hold on, bro.
I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm asking the Lord, like, is something wrong with me? Like, why I feel some type of way, man, watching this man play basketball, bro. Man. But look, man, I think it's on up and up. You see the man change his number to number 6.
I see that. Trying to get back to that Miami.
Going back to the Heat days. So, man, we'll see. I'm hopeful.
You was a Laker fan, weren't you? Because I know you was a Kobe fan. So you was
I was a Kobe fan, so I was a Laker fan, man. I was a Kobe.
So you was a Laker fan by default of Kobe.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Well, my pops was a Magic fan.
Oh, okay,
so
okay,
by
got
default,
it.
I was,
your grandfather.
That was when I was born. So
right.
I was born. I was about 6, 7 at that time when he was playing, and the whole when he announced, that he had HIV.
HIV.
And,
I remember that.
And
you remember that, though?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that hit the Perkins household kind of hard.
Oh man.
So
everybody go to the room. Don't nobody talk. We ain't eating nothing tonight.
So yeah, I've been a Lakers fan since knee high, man. Even in the rough Eddie Jones years.
Man, Smush Parker.
Right.
Shout out to Smush Parker. I ain't hating on nobody.
Right.
Because the way Kwame going off right now, I ain't even trying to.
I ain't trying to hear nobody.
Everybody that makes it to the NBA is worth it.
Seriously, we don't want that type of smoke.
We don't want that type of smoke. Everybody's worthy.
Man.
Everybody's worthy.
So seeing, I'm of the still of the belief that the short off season with these guys, really hurt a lot of people. I was looking at a report that they had today that was saying like the injury numbers are up in the NBA. The NBA of course was trying to spin it to they saying that actually is just as bad as any other year, but nah, that ain't it.
That's
just spin. I understand spin too though, but because protect the bag, so I understand that. So, but I think Brian gonna be Brian, bro. Brian gonna bounce back.
They just need to get. They need to make sure to get some help.
Make sure they got some people, the right people around him.
Absolutely.
And I trust the front office. I mean, after seeing what they did last year.
Yeah, I can believe in them.
And in the bubble.
That Pelinka and Rich.
I believe in Rich.
Ain't no staff.
I believe in Rich, man.
How was it? Look, I got a question. How we talking about injured off season? I know we're gonna get to our subjects, but playing ball, playing NFL ball, it's different because different sports, more contact. But could you imagine having a shorter off season? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're looking forward to the off season to be able to recuperate, get your body together, get your mind together and everything. Can you imagine like going one season and having to have a shorter season with your body not fully recuperated? You know what I'm saying? Like it would be damaging to, I guess, your body and how you're playing, huh?
Man, I'm still recuperating.
So he looked around.
Hey,
Doug looked around like,
what you mean? Like, I'm still recuperating. And look, I lasted a hot minute in the league. You know what I'm saying? So like my last year was 2012, right? That's my last year with the Saints on the practice squad. So I lasted a hot minute. I'm still recuperating. No joke. Like we was talking about this other day. Like basketball, you up and down the court.
Right.
Now football is one of those sports, man. It's physical. Like you banging somebody every play.
Yep.
I saw something. They said when you hit somebody, it's like you going 20 miles per hour. It's like a car hitting you every single play, bro. And like I can't even to this day, man. Like I want to go hoop with my boys.
Yep, we were talking about that the other day, right?
And drop a triple double, but I can't because of my knee, and that's a direct reflection of the years of the wear and tear playing ball.
Wow.
And so, man, like injuries, like when you play sports at a high level, any level you play sports at a high level, these injuries that you have, man, look, I ain't trying to be all deep and spiritual and all that stuff, but they're gonna linger for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? They're going to linger for the rest of your life. So it's one of those things, man, where it's, I get it. Like that short off season, guys pulling hamstrings, soft tissue issues. It's not a joke. I don't care how much you do, how much work you put in, or what kind of nutrition that you have. It's inevitable. They're going to run you down. You know what I'm saying? Just like, if
you played how many? Doug, you played how many years, man? But you started how old? I know I'm about to get in your history right now. You started how old were you playing?
I started in 8th grade.
Wow, so that's 13.
Shout out Dutchtown Middle School.
No,
7th grade. 7th grade. 7th grade.
Dutchtown Middle School.
8th grade, you there.
That was at Parkview. Yeah, shout out Dutchtown.
Yeah, Dutchtown Middle though, boy.
Started in 7th grade. But see, it was the reason why I started in 7th grade too. Like my pops didn't want me to start before 7th grade at all. I can remember when I was getting ready to start, like I think in 5th grade, I bought my shoulder pads and everything. I was geeked up.
Ready to go.
I was ready. I had my shoulder pads on with no jersey on. I had the shoulder pads over my chest with no jersey. Man, had to have I had them ponies though. The cleats had them pony cleats, bro. And like, man, I remember, man, he walked in the room and said, "No, we ain't gonna do it. We gonna wait." Man, I cried. But I started in 7th grade.
I can imagine.
But look. That's one of those things. That's something that you choose to do.
Right.
I mean, when you choose to do it, you got to deal with the consequences. It has its rewards,
right,
but also has the consequences.
Right. You count the cost, man.
And the thing is, you saying about having a short off season. Unfortunately, we about to see the real cost of that because I mean, these HBCUs and the colleges that played in the spring, they turning around and you best believe they're gonna be back out there in the fall.
Absolutely, they can't miss that.
So they ain't about to miss that money again.
No, they're not. They can't do it.
So
can't do it.
They about to unfortunately pay a very high cost
just for that, right?
For that, and to pay that cost and not have access to things like their name, image, and likeness is crazy. So for those who don't know, is commonly referred to as NIL.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Your name, image, and likeness.
NIL. We were talking about. They were talking about NIL, man. I was like NIL, like Neil. Like I know Neil is like. Ain't there something else? Some other sport or something like that, like Neil or something like that. But I like, man, what we talking about? Then Don was like, explain to me. Go ahead, use.
But yeah, so basically, what the NCAA says is basically you do not have access as a student athlete. You do not have access to. It's just a short version of it. They have a bunch of legal, definitions and jargon around it, but you don't have access to make any kind of profit off of your name, your image, or your likeness. So basically, they can market you as far as putting you in the programs. They can market you as far as your jersey number, and they can market you as far as putting your name on a recruiting, any kind of recruiting paperwork that they send out to get more people in. You don't have access to any kind of proceeds off of that.
Your God-given name.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
The name your mama them gave you.
The name your mama, yeah. His mama call him Clay, I'm going to call him Clay. So, to put your body through those type of rigors, in any sport. You can go from football all the way down to golf. Like, you put your body through that much, trauma and to make yourself into an athlete, and to not have access to, like you said, your God-given name, your image, your image, what I look like, and anything that my likeness. So I can't, you can't. For instance, you can't go home during the summer. If I'm a basketball player, I can't go home and have a camp for kids.
Wow.
And charge $20,
which they would pay for.
Exactly, they would pay for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But as I'm sure Doug could tell us, as a major D1 college athlete, for y'all that don't know, my man was the middle linebacker at Louisiana State University, commonly known as LSU. And you can't have a job. That is your job, right?
I mean, you can have a job, but it ain't gonna be a job,
right?
That's a whole nother topic for another day. But you bring up a good point though. And by the way, Don is our lawyer of the group. If y'all
you hear the way he talks, he said,
well,
legally, technically, if they stand on the left side of the building, they're really not the right sided, so they really can't.
These are the big legal terms, man. You got the young Johnny Cochran over there.
Got to make sure we right on here, Don.
Sure. What now we talk about? I'm like, you're right.
On the tracks, man. Just trying to
you know what I'm saying? But it's like you bring a good point. Like, even like playing at LSU and stuff. What happens is while you in that moment, while you playing, right, you're not thinking about how much revenue these schools actually making. You're not thinking about that because why? They throw so much other stuff at you, right? And so you walk in these fancy weight rooms.
It's the curtain, man. It's the curtain.
Yeah, you walk in these fancy weight rooms. You see the training table. You see the cafeteria. But dang, wait a minute. On Saturday nights, I'm playing in front of 100,000 people. I'm on TV. I'm doing media interviews. You know what I'm saying? Like, you walk around campus, people taking pictures, you getting autographs. And so you blinded. You're blinded.
Oh, right. Yep.
And dang. And don't get to the point where, dang, wait a minute, I'm on the cover of a magazine? Like, wait a minute, I can be a top draft pick? Wait a minute, I can.
And then the fees start coming through.
Oh, yeah.
The fees start coming through. When I say fees, I mean females.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's another.
I don't know if they like us calling that no more.
Speaking of that, man, I can remember when I was in college.
Uh-oh.
Like, man, my senior year. My senior year, man, it's like, not a 4.1, but what was the DJ back then? Jay Tweezy.
Jay
Tweezy, not a 4.1, man. And they used to have, at the beginning of the season, they had names, right, for females was saying you need to look out for these guys for the upcoming football season.
Jeez.
And so I think the year before, in 2007, it was LeBron, like, one year was LeBron Jamarcus. And then I think Dwayne Bowe. Then the other year was like Ali. Then my senior year was me and Tyson Jackson. And so, again, but that's the curtain, right? So you're not thinking about the revenue that these schools are actually making until you get out of it. Prime example, true story. So going into my senior year, what's statute of limitations, Dante? You the lawyer.
I'm gonna have to look.
Hey, we can always edit this.
Depending on what we talking about, right?
Right. 2008.
Go ahead.
Anyway, it's really ain't no that type of ordeal. But look, so about the image and likeness, like going into my senior year. So the equipment manager was like, "Look, we thinking about putting your jersey in these stores so we can sell them because LSU was branded by whatever big corporation.
Right.
So we was gonna put your jersey in the stores. So this one I'm talking about. At that particular time, being 19, 20 years old, I wasn't thinking about, man, this is really a business. So 2 weeks later, he comes back. He's like, we can't do that. We had to pull it from the shelf. I say, what you mean? He says, your number is not marketable. So I wore number 48. It's not a marketable number. I was like, well, dang, right? But at the same time, it's like, man, this is
what?
Yeah, like a 48 is not a popular number. Like, think about it. Like, come on, Macho.
I had one. I had a jersey.
Yeah, but think about it.
I had a Beckwith jersey.
You did, but just because you was my boy. But 48 was kind of weak. Like, when I first...
I never thought about it like that, though, but it's interesting.
It's interesting, but the number was weak. Like, when I first got there, I was like, number 48? I went from 11 in high school to 48? Anyway.
I never, Doug, when I promise on everything I love right now, on my mom and everybody else, I never thought about it like that. I was like, yo, we killing 48. That's it.
It's dope. But it wasn't marketable. Think about it. Like,
I get it now.
How many people gonna see around running 48?
I get it now.
That's why they always ran like 2, number 1, number 11.
All double numbers.
Double numbers are good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like they actually, like, unless you like a wide receiver and you wearing like 88, which a lot of them in high school don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Me in high school, college don't. It's either you gotta have them. It's crazy, but it's literally like skinny numbers.
Yeah, well, they changing that now, ain't they? In the league, ain't they?
That's why they letting them wear single numbers in the league. And the thing, and to bring it back around, like now, what were your college years again, Doug?
I'm 05 to 08.
05 to 08. So. For those that may have remembered, there was a very popular video game out called NCAA Football, and whatever number year that it was out. So, you were on that video game,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
I still ain't got my check.
Oh, we got to call somebody then. Somebody. So, we need to make a phone call.
Man, you know what? Oh, Lindsey Brown. Yeah, I'm gonna call him out right now.
Man, we need to call.
Oh, Lindsey Brown got a check.
What I'm
saying? What's shout out to old man? Shout out to old man. I still ain't got my check for that. Yeah, he got a check, man. Dude, anyway, go ahead.
So I mean, I'm looking. That video game was super popular, and this was before now, where you can hop on and play with people all across the world. Really, everybody was buying this game and playing at the house. You have the tournaments. I know me myself. We would get down. Get everybody into one room, and we hopping on the game. We set up a dry erase board. Write our names in a bracket, and we playing all day, dog. Like, right. And once it's over, we reset the board and go play again. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and that's just me. That happened multiple times, but this is hundreds of thousands of athletes that have gone through this, the NCAA, been involved in this game.
Right.
That's so, it made EA Sports a whole bunch of money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hand over fist, a whole bunch of money, and you're not seeing the dime of it now. Granted, Ed O'Ban and his brother, they got to a point where their court case, and that's why all the NCAA football, NCAA basketball, they had to stop making those games,
right?
Because they won those court cases.
Yeah, but it's only right, man. It's the curtain. It's only right if you're making money. It's good business. I mean, any job that you work at, right? The paychecks come from the company making money. It would be slavery for the company to make money and you doing the work not getting paid for it. True or not true? True. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I know that's a hot word, and I know people say it, but it's somewhat something like they say, well, you know, you get education and da. I don't really want to hear that compared to what y'all making. What y'all making off of this is nothing close to this tuition. Like, it's way more than that. But it's a curtain. I'll give you an example, not to get deep into it, but like in the Bible, they talk about the holies of holies, and it used to have a curtain around it, and only certain people could go in, right? And on the inside was, you know, the holies of holies, the Spirit of God, whatever they want to call it, was in there, and everybody couldn't go in, so you couldn't even see what was going on, right? And so now when y'all hear us talk about the curtain, there's a curtain. I was even talking about curtain in the medical field today, and I don't even gonna get into this too long. But this will be another conversation. But there's a reason that you don't have actual money exchange at hospitals, right? That's why you go to insurance or whatever, because you don't. If you knew, and I'm gonna say this, then we're gonna go on. But if you knew how much some of these surgeries cost, or even these small procedures, then not everybody what I'm about to say, but you'll realize that some of these doctors are figuring out how they're going to spend their summer vacation based on doing a small procedure for you that may not need to be done. But that's another conversation. But it's a curtain. We talk about that in professional sports. You know, we really don't know how much, you know, pick a team. You know, we don't know how much the Brooklyn Nets making the whole year. They never put those numbers out. They'll tell you how much the contracts are.
Well,
for the players.
I'll tell you, as far as this video game, I'm gonna give Forbes magazine, the financial magazine, the credit for this. NCAA football launched in 2008 and up to 7 years ago when this article, 2014, when this article was put out. And generated more than $1.3 billion in sales within just the U.S. alone. Almost cussed. According to market research and tracking firm, the NPD Group Incorporated.
Man, that's...
You
said a B with a billion with a B?
1.3
Say, bro.
billion.
Dante, I come across this today.
Say, bro. Almost cussed. That don't...
And look, but the Ed O'Bannon thing, right? So 1.5 Bs, all right? But the max we could have got after they won the case was 6,000.
And see them caps. Every time they put a cap on them, but you already know somebody capping. If they put a cap, somebody capping, but they about to do you something dirty, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad it's the curtain. You can't see behind those lines, because if you don't see behind those lines, we went to Guatemala one time, bro, crazy, and you would be going down a road, and on the left side of the road would be the slums. I'm talking about slums. I'm talking about like. What is going on? And on the right side, you see these big walls, and they have they have greenery on it, but it wouldn't look fancy, none of just big walls. On the other side of those walls, there were big old mansions and houses right next to slums, but they say out of sight, out of mind. So if you don't see that there's something better across the street, you never complain about why you don't have it.
Right.
You don't complain about why. And so a lot of times those curtains in that, because you don't know the numbers, the bottom line numbers of what a university, well, we're in the information age now, so we have so much access. Like, you just pulled that up. We probably can pull up the financials of schools and stuff like that, maybe, if it's the true financials, you know what I'm saying? But now that you see it, you can kind of question, be like, yo, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, man, this ain't something, something ain't right. And they're making it hand over fist. But what's the date? So they got a date, huh? And it's supposed to kick in.
They said July 1st.
July 1st.
Yeah.
July 1st
is 2021. Yep, July 1st, they said it's supposed to kick in, where everybody can kind of, make money off of their name, image, and likeness, right? Is it? So I got a question. As far as y'all know, is it free for all? Is it like there's no holds barred to it, or is there? Because I don't know the details on it.
Dante he can tell you more. But it's all right. What they say? It's still it's good. It's good. It's good for the.
It's progress.
It's progress, but they still got some stipulations on it. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's still. I don't know if it was Ohio or Florida somewhere. It's still like little nuances in the clauses where
I think you talking about Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. You can do this, but you can't go too far, right? So they still got your foot.
So they're not about to make no millions of dollars. Is what you're trying to say?
It honestly depends. See,
because if the
Yeah. Well, you know,
Cause that's a different type of coaching now. There's a different type of coaching, different type of recruiting now. That makes a difference. This is why you have to have certain coaches. This is why I said, and I'm gonna say it on here, that I believe Brad Stevens is not a good coach in the NBA. Now, he's a good coach, but I don't think you can coach. You know, he got on because of what he did at Butler. But you're talking about young boys trying to get on. Butler ain't really a high recruiter school, no way. You're not about to get on here and you got 3 number 1 overall picks, and they all make more money than you, and be talking to them like we're a college prep team. You know what I'm saying? So now he's talking about different type of coaching. You know what I'm saying? I know how Saban coach. You know what I'm saying? I know how different ones coach. But when you put money in, you got to talk to these young men a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to.
What it's going to do is even the playing field. Like these Alabamas and these Clemsons and Ohio State getting these top recruits, man, ain't nobody be thinking about no championships after a while. How much I'm gonna get paid? Like,
and some of these other schools that never were in the line to be able to recruit big, but they got paper. You know what I'm saying?
Like
they got money, and I know they're not paying them across the thing like that, but they got paper and they got exposure. Some of these schools that may not have the top recruiting or may not have the best recruiters, but they got the exposure. Some of these kids will be like, "Oh, y'all, okay, word, I'm coming over there."
USC, Hollywood.
I'm saying
they already did the whole ordeal.
Hey,
they recruiting pitch now. It's like we can get you commercials and movies.
Man, listen now.
Where you think I'm going?
Hollywood.
And I think what it's going to do too, man, it's going to make college football a little bit. It's exciting now, but I think what's going to happen. You know how a kid like Dante, you know this. Like y'all know this. Like I'm going to college for 3 years. I'm dipping after my junior. I'm not staying 4 years.
Especially if you ain't got to.
If you ain't got to. But now what's going to happen is, you know, if I got a contract with a company or a deal, and I'm getting paid while I'm still here, it's more attractive to come back for your senior year. Yeah. So like all these top players that you watch maybe from their freshman to junior year, you know what I'm saying, and then going to their senior year and they getting broke off and getting paid.
Right.
I want to come back. It's gonna make it more competitive too. Like I was born in '87, but I ain't no '80s baby. But think about it.
No, you're '80s baby.
No, I'm not 87.
87, that's your 80s baby, bro.
But
it's 87.
I don't care, but I don't remember the 80s though.
What you want to be a 90s baby?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm on the borderline of 80s.
Hey, I'm an 80s baby. Dante, you an 80s baby too, right?
Absolutely.
Man, come on, man, join the club, bro. You're an 80s baby.
You an 80s
No, we are
baby.
80s.
No,
80s. I'm like 80s, baby.
I'm like a 80s.
This Doug voice go high like that is hilarious, bro.
Hey, bro. But think about it, like back in the '80s, right? When like basketball, for instance, the Georgetowns, all them boys, like Patrick Ewing, them boys stayed 4 years, and it was exciting.
Jordan, man, all them
Jordan, man, stayed 4. Can you imagine now? Like you getting broke off? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got like I play with cats, you know, that like they had to leave. Like I gotta go. But now, man, if you getting paid and got endorsements, you might want to stay extra year.
Right. So you saying okay. So I got a question. I'm gonna say this. Do you think that it's going to make college football better? Go, Dante. Go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Give me a reason.
Because it's making better people. If I make better people, the product is better no matter what.
That's
I
good.
don't care.
You feeling that, Doug?
I don't even care if if players sit out this game or they take care of themselves more.
Right.
That makes the sport better.
Like Jamal did a smart thing.
That makes the sport better.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter about the product on the field all the time. It's very important. I'm not gonna sit here and act blind to it. But if I'm making better people, more healthy people, more people capable of taking care of home, then the sport is better. The sport is healthier.
Absolutely.
What you just said, better people. What we talk about all the time.
Mm-hmm.
How like a lot of these kids, a lot of these athletes, even in high school, especially when you get to college, man, I'm going to the league, right? That's it. Do it. I'm going to the league. Right. But now the game changes now, right? Mm-hmm. I think this is why the NCAA was avoiding this the whole time, because all right, back to the slavery thing. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't care. Anyway, they didn't want the slaves to read because you gave them wisdom and knowledge. Mm-hmm. But now, can you imagine like these kids now like getting paid? They're not only going to get paid, but they're going to be connected to a lot of influential people in high places. So now they're going to know, well, dang, this how you run a business.
They can move around.
That's how you make a business plan.
Yeah. Which is what we don't learn. which is what they don't teach.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I like that. I like that.
So it's like now, but the coaches got to be smart.
Yep.
They got to be smart about it. It's like the way they coach now, they're gonna have to adapt and change to it because now they're gonna be like, yo, bro, like,
hey,
I really don't need you right now.
Hey, but you know, what Nick Saban just re-up for?
Yeesh.
32
Yeesh.
a year.
Yeesh.
You could adjust. Them.
Yeesh.
You got enough money. You got enough money to learn how to.
Oh, yeah,
adjust.
we're paying you to adjust.
Yeah, we're paying you exactly.
You got enough zeros to adjust.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I like it too because what is it going to do? A lot of kids are going to find a different purpose now.
Absolutely, they'll find a purpose. They'll find a purpose outside the sport.
Straight up,
it will. And I will tell you this too: what you're about to find is that good old boy system is in trouble for the good old boy coaching because now they're going to be some other coaches with some other open mindedness. With good coaches, of course, you can't put no trash coach, but they're gonna have to come in there. And now we're not about to treat y'all like some little boys, off the side of the street no more. If you get what I'm saying, I understand the respect. I understand, there's a lot of things that we learn. We're growing up and raising with young teenagers, but I'm not about to be able to treat you like the little boy in the hood that just needs you. I'm not about to call you daddy.
Right?
Y'all feel me? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna have a draft day story.
Right. Right. Bro, I hate it. Tell them what you're talking about, bro. I hate it, bro.
Man, look, they did better this year.
Oh, God.
But on draft day, dog, I got so sick and tired of saying when a kid get drafted, oh, but his mom, she was on this and on drugs, and he raised his brothers by himself. Man, no nobody want to hear that.
And
now.
you ain't got to say that every time, bro.
Somebody get drafted, bro. But not the game changing. And this, and like you said, this was they did not want this. But man, look, the pandemic, whatever you say it is. Bad happened, but let me tell you something. It exposed a lot of things. It exposed a lot of people, bro.
Yeah.
And so this is one of those opportunities where, and young athletes, like you listen to this, please capitalize off of this.
Yes,
Like capitalize off of this, man. Like, I wish I can go back to this time and capitalize off of this and use this. When you go to college, I know I'm getting off topic.
No, you on topic. Let's go.
Right. When you network. I call it get out the athletic bubble. Burst it, please.
Just a bubble?
Like burst the bubble.
Yeah, right.
Like stop talking to your teammate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're about to, with this image and likeness, you're gonna meet a lot of people, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? The CEO of a company, he needs to be on your favorite list on your iPhone. Straight up.
Wow.
Now he needs to be on your favorite list. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand it's college, you wanna have fun, you have a good time, but that's the people that you need to interact with. And that's one thing. Every guy I played with, Don and Trail, like they wish they networked more because we ate together. We same apartment complex together. Like, I got tired of seeing. I'm like, straight. I got tired of seeing y'all, man. So man, take advantage of this, man. This is an opportunity that look. This is right there for you.
Yep.
Use it.
Yep.
Like. Use the opportunity. Don't let the school and the system
use the opportunity, man.
Use the system. Use the school, man.
Use the system. Bro,
they need you. They need you.
They do.
If they don't have you, they have no product.
They do.
Exactly.
They do.
Straight up.
Do. Hey, can you imagine how much money? Like, I'm starting thinking about old players, man. Like players that played, like that became stars in college. You know what I'm saying? Like different ones, bro. Like you imagine Dion them back then.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? If they could, like eat off their image and likeness. Michael Irvin them. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these guys that. Even guys like I remember Clinton Portis. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Clinton Portis was a dog. When he was in Miami, didn't he? Right? He was a dog.
Yeah.
And he was more of a dog in Miami than he was in the league. He was a dog in the league, too, don't get me wrong, but he was more of a dog. Can you imagine? Man, like what's his name? And he got in trouble with like Maurice Claret. Like just that 1 year.
But that's the thing. What Maurice Claret got in trouble for?
Exactly, bro.
Had he been able to make money off of running a football camp, he wouldn't have stuck nobody up.
He wouldn't have stuck. He'd been busy too. He'd have been busy. Right, exactly. That's craziness, man. Like some of these, I just start thinking back to some of these guys, bro, and like Tebow, bro. But Tebow wouldn't have went to the league, bro. Like Tebow would have retired. He'd have made so much money, bro.
He'd have been millionaire in college, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Multi-millionaire.
But it would have been ridiculous.
It would have.
Multi-millionaire.
So
just off of jersey sales, are they? All right, got a question. Are they making money off of jersey sales? Yes. Are they doing that? They making money off of jersey sales and everything.
Who
I'm talking about right now, NIL, like the image and likeness thing. So they're gonna get cuts off of the jersey sales and the.
What's probably gonna happen is they're probably gonna stop selling jerseys.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The business will adjust.
No, they'll be down bad for that, bro.
The business will adjust. No, that's why everybody making custom jerseys now.
Didn't think about that.
It's not that player's name, image, and likeness. It's yours. That's why you're making customized jerseys with your name.
So how does that go? I'm asking another question. How does that go if I was playing at LSU and could I not use the colors? Like if I wanted to make a jersey but I don't have LSU or no Tiger or nothing on there, but I just got like my name and the purple and gold. Because purple and gold, are they trademark colors? Like how does that work?
Oh, those colors are trademarked.
So
that particular purple and that particular gold are trademarked.
So I wouldn't be able to make a jersey probably.
No, you can make it. You probably get a cease and desist.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I feel that. Right. So, but like Tebow, bro, would have made, bro, off his jersey sales, bro, off of just, he probably one of the most famous players to play college football, right?
Absolutely.
By far, huh?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of anybody that got as famous as that.
Johnny Manziel did for that.
Johnny Manziel did.
Right.
He did. But Johnny Manziel, they still didn't think he was, well, they didn't think Tebow was going to be good in the league either, so I guess.
Tebow's still in the league after 8 years of being off.
He's still in the league.
8 or 9 years of being off.
Doug, come on, bro. You play ball. Ain't no way you're going to be out for no 8 or 9 years to come back and play.
Oh, yes, it is.
Well, I mean, now it is.
Oh, yeah. Now it is. Now it is for sure.
But just like normally, man.
No, bro. No, you know. No, first off, you're not even getting up. You ain't even like, if they watch you, if you drive your car anywhere near to the stadium, they're going to throw rocks at it. Man, turn it back around. Right. You see what I'm saying? Like, you might be going to get you something to eat and just driving by the stadium. Man, turn your car back around, man. But the situation with Tebow is like, look, I'm not a hater at all. Like, I'm everybody do what you want to do, man. You know what I'm saying? So we can easily say, well, let's not start a podcast. Where everybody got a podcast. Well, no, let's start one.
Let's start one.
But in this situation, man, it's like, I get it why they doing it. I understand why they doing it.
So hold on. So let's break down what he's doing. So he's signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Shout out Trevor Lawrence. They got Trevor Lawrence over the first overall pick, right? So and then Urban, mine gonna be the coach, right? Which we see a little connection there. So Tim Tebow is signing. He signed with them already. Right? He with them. And he's going to be playing, I hear him saying different, like tight end. That's what they said?
Like an H-back.
H-back.
So he's going to be like old boy for the Saints.
Yeah, he's going to be like Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
They can move him around and stuff. But Taysom Hill...
Let me make a call right quick, y'all, because we got to talk about this a little bit more. Let me make a call right quick.
Yeah, I make this call. I'm not going to say I dislike Tim Tebow. I think he's
I was a Tebow fan, though.
A good guy. I don't have a problem with him necessarily.
Hello?
Man, what's up, bro?
What's happening?
Hey, bro, you live, bro. We got you live on the Evergreen Podcast, man. That's what we call it. I know you didn't know what the name of it was, but that's the name of it now. Shout out,
Evergreen Podcast. How y'all came up with that, bro?
Well, we just trying to keep it evergreen. You know, when they call something evergreen, that means it's not a prison of the moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, you know, even though we may talk about current events, the whole podcast is not locked up in 2021. So it'll be something that'll be, you know, usable, you know what I'm saying, or applicable, you know, 20 years from now. And they call it evergreen, kind of like the trees or whatever. So it always stays fresh or whatever. But y'all, this is my homeboy Raj. So shout out Raj. He'll be on here with his face on sometimes, but we can't put the light skin on here right now. So
Puerto Rican Prince.
We got him on the phone. But so Rod, I had to call you in the middle of this, bro, because now we're talking about Tim Tebow, and we just told everybody how, you know, he's, of course, it's common knowledge. There's nothing new. He signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Urban Meyer's going to be over there. Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall pick, right? And, you know, I was asking them, you know, because I heard he was playing tight end. They was like, he's going to play like an H-back, right? And I'm just trying to figure out how this is going to work. What's your thoughts on it? Because I don't, you know, we talking about he been out 8 years, Doug? 8 years?
Something like that, give or take. 8 or 9. 7 or 8.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just really trying to figure out how. I was a Tebow fan. I like Tim Tebow. I like Tim Tebow. Well, I didn't like him in college because I didn't want him to beat LSU. So let me stop lying
Right.
about that. He's a Christian,
Yeah,
so
I
we was
feel
all
that.
on the Christian bandwagon and all that. But I wanted him to succeed in the league. I was happy when he won that one playoff game at Denver. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a Tebow hater. You know what I'm saying? But I got to be a realist. Like, what is this really going to look like?
Yeah, so for me, it all depends on what they're looking for, bro. Because I mean, you said it. Dude been out the league for forever,
Since
right?
2012.
And let's not forget, 8
2012?
years ago,
Sheesh.
at least, yeah. So let's not forget that 8 years ago, right before he took all this time off, like he was a huge man, hella strong, right? But dude wasn't the quickest, the fastest, wasn't explosive, quick twitch, none of that.
Right.
Right. So for me, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a big body, strong dude to come in, block, do that kind of
He
stuff,
big, too.
I think he can do that. You know what I'm saying? But if you want like the modern day tight end, with dudes who's running routes and getting open, like you got to have some speed and athleticism that he didn't even have 8 years ago. much less being able to run routes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's footwork. That's that's all that too. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for that, like a modern day tight end, to do a whole lot more than just block, I don't think that's it, cuz.
Raj, do you
So,
think?
but that might not be what they're looking for, though. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
Do you think like? I'm not saying beneath him because obviously he didn't want to. If he'd have did this 8 years ago, he'd probably still be in the league. Like if they moved the age back. Do you think it's a possibility that maybe he stays on the roster like on a special team basis, like run down on kickoff return? Like you think he capable of doing that?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
Was it? Yeah.
he wasn't the fastest, but yeah, I mean, that's just all out effort. You know what I'm saying? So you can run down there like, your head's on fire. You willing to break somebody up. I mean, I can see him doing that. Yeah.
Let me just be.
Hold on, before you say that, Dante, because I already know where you're going. Hold on, let me say I think I don't care what he do. I don't care if he good enough or he not. I don't care if he can go out there and run the routes amazing. He can be an amazing H-back or whatever. Them boys ain't winning nothing in Jacksonville right now. Urban Meyer, Suburban Meyer,
Oscar
you know what I'm saying? Oscar Meyer. Joyce Meyer. Boy, it don't matter, boy. They not winning nothing no Jacksonville right now, boy. So I don't know, but go ahead, Dante, because I already know you about to kill us.
All right, no.
Give us some information.
All right, I'm gonna give the real reason he's there. Of course, everybody.
Well, you mean to tell me he's not there to play football?
Everyone knows that he's there to. Everyone knows that he is a very devout Christian. He professes his faith. But as far as being on that roster, he is on there to spread the gospel of Urban Meyer. All right, he is over there because Urban Meyer came in now, number one.
Urban 360.
And I'm not sure if any of y'all familiar. He hired this coach that is the strength and conditioning coach from the University of Iowa, who just got fired for a bunch of racist stuff that he was doing.
Didn't know that.
Now that's already getting you, demerit points because as Doug can probably tell you about the locker room. Once the locker room turn against you, hey dog, you probably going to be out of there.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Real quick.
That's a wrap.
And now as far as on the field, let me just be clear. They are going to smash Tim Tebow.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem.
If Tim Tebow comes in motion across the line and think he going to take on somebody like Myles Garrett is going to put Tim Tebow.
He's waiting on him right now.
On a wall.
Yeah.
They are going to smash him.
And see, here's the thing. He don't have the protection of no line.
And it's not.
Line. He can't stand back in the backfield no more.
Hey, it's not. It's a lot going. A lot of it's going to be. See, I remember when, and it's about the same time. Like when Reggie Bush came in the league, all that media attention, all that media coverage,
they tried to knock his head off.
They tried to knock his head off.
Trying to knock his head
every
off.
time they got.
And they was doing it too. God, dog.
And I'm telling you, dog, this dude been out the league for 9 years. He is going to get
I don't know if it's good for his health.
Dog, he better go back home to his supermodel wife and live out the rest of his life
He not doing it, bro.
If he know what's good for him.
No, that man say he still got it, bro.
I think
that man say he number 2 on the depth chart of quarterbacks. He say, forget what y'all talking about, H-back and tight end and all that. That man say he the backup quarterback. That man say if Trevor Lawrence go down, they gonna put him in the game.
Why not just take a front office job?
That's what he
like.
Why not?
Well, he was doing good commentating, Raj.
He was.
Yeah, he was on SEC Network.
Yeah.
He's on SEC Network.
But is it the competitor?
We'll do anything but what he's doing.
We'll get him on the show.
We'll
get him on the show to ask him what he
media
thinking.
availability is.
You know what though? You know what, bro? It is a sense of being competitive, but it's also a sense of ego as well. It's more ego than being competitive.
I can feel that.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like you know this. Like, Trill, like just 8 years later, you wake up out your bed and you just like, you know what?
I'm about to go play ball.
Dog.
I want to put the pads.
Right, like somewhere along the line, somebody told him something about I told you weren't going.
Yeah,
somebody, I ain't gonna lie, somebody could tell me right now, like, Doug, I knew you weren't gonna last in the league.
Well, okay.
I don't care, boy. Right, okay. I got there.
Well, I'm great.
Well, Doug,
Good.
Well, Doug, y'all, you 2012 was you, right?
When
Your last year.
2011.
2011.
Yeah,
All right, so right now,
So right now, Doug,
Doug,
would
come
you
back.
wake up
Right.
and go down, drive down to Metairie and
Look
tell
at
us
Doug scratching his face. Doug.
that you trying to go and
Right, I
line
wish
up
you
at
could
middle
see it.
linebacker,
Right.
right? And go
Think about it.
and go and run into the Big Eason, the center. You know what I'm saying? And try to make a tackle on Alvin Kamara. Like, are you trying to do that right now?
Oh, bro, I just had an epiphany. I see what Tim Tebow going through.
What are you doing? What are you going?
Because I literally thought for 2 seconds I could go do it.
Ooh.
And I'm not joking.
His longer than 2 seconds though.
Yeah,
Like he
was
let his long.
I see what happened, right?
What happened to you just now? Come on, let's talk about it. After 2 seconds.
After 2 seconds, right?
So when you first heard it, you like,
Right.
I can go and get
I
this.
said, I can go get this. And then I realized, like, I probably would have torn my ACL getting in my stance.
Oh my God,
I
bro.
would have, bro. I would have.
So you trying to tell me that Tebow? So you felt what he felt, but he let that thought go on too long.
Absolutely.
Somebody
Like-
should have told this man.
I'm
Where's his pastor?
I don't know, man. Like, somebody should have said
Where's
something.
past that,
Like,
Raj?
I think that's what happened, bro. He just got to the point where was like, man, you know what? I can go do this. And look, we could be sitting here, and then when October come, T-Will may be killing it. And then
I'll retract everything I'm saying.
I sure would. But
I'm telling you what, if he makes an active roster, right?
Oh, so you still got to make the active roster.
I'm not saying, and I'm not talking about
He making
like
the
be
active
on.
roster.
I'm not talking about being on a 52 man because you can make the 52 man, but you only dress 46.
But he gonna play now. He
what I'm saying.
got to play the Jaguars.
If he
we can go
plays-
play the Jaguars right now.
If he plays, Urban Meyer is going to make sure that man catches 10 touchdowns because he's going to have all the red zone packages. Name the Jacksonville name Jacksonville running back off the top of your head.
I can't.
Don't look it up.
I can't.
Etienne, they just drafted him.
Oh,
All right.
Well, but he a new running back though. I didn't know the one from last year.
Raj, you know?
Nah, that's what last
All
year.
right. I'm telling
I mean,
you.
after Fournette, it was a wrap.
I'm telling you. Etienne ain't huge.
No, you're not. He got a bigger lower extremity.
He is going to be that lead down fullback. They're going to try to turn that man into Mike Allstott.
Who, Tebow?
Yeah. They're going to turn around handing the ball. Trevor Lawrence going to get on the center, turn around hand Tebow the ball.
Hey,
from
but
the
if he,
1 yard line.
Man, All-Star could run.
but they got hold
All-Star could run,
on. Hey,
bro.
All-Star can run, but they got to get to the one though. Y'all got to hear what I'm saying with Jacksonville. I do not care. Trevor Lawrence, I like that boy at Clemson. I thought he was good, but
Who the receiver?
I don't even know. You know him, Dante? I don't even know. We can look up the roster right now.
DJ Chark?
DJ Chark.
No.
Oh, a shout out, Boot
Yeah,
Boy.
but yeah.
Okay.
you know.
Gotta
Yeah,
get love for
He's
that.
nice. No, he nice. DJ Chark nice.
But do they have an O-line?
Who?
What if Minshew was over there? Gardner
Gardner
Minshew?
Minshew, Gardner Minshew and
He had a little hype for like 3-4 games, didn't he?
Right.
Just because they didn't expect
a little
nothing. Bro, I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I mean, I wish that man the best, man. If he, you know. Oh, but hold on, y'all put me on something the other day. And y'all put me on something. I think, Don, you put me on something the other day. You said something about, because we were texting. I told him, Raj, we be talking about all this in the text group, so we trying to give him an inside scoop now, right? Mm-hmm. But you text something the other day, and I knew about veteran. I knew that people want to play in the league a long time, enough years. I don't know what the years are in the NFL to be a veteran, because then you get the pension. Mm-hmm. You get paid for the rest of your life. I know the NBA does the same thing. All companies pretty much do that, right?
Right.
But people don't know that about sports. So I knew that, but then you told me something else.
Yeah. So Tebow's right on the line of where if he plays, I believe it was another 10 games. Mm-hmm. Right now he's getting the minimum pension, which is about $18,000 a year, right? From the league, he gets paid, in perpetuity to the end of his life.
Right.
He gets paid that.
Right.
If he makes the active roster and plays, I believe 10 games this year, he's going to triple that.
What do you call? You called it something. I can't remember terminology.
Yeah, I might have to. I honestly don't remember.
I should look back in the group. He called it something.
It's some big word he always
he called him
some Stephen A. Smith word or something.
It was I can't think of it right now. But
but he'll get that tripled. He'll get that 18,000 tripled, and
he played 10 more games.
Yeah.
So you telling me,
on top of whatever salary whatever he signs for, and of course he get the roster bonus and
all that
whatever other escalation.
And if they go to the playoffs, he get money for that too, right?
Make it to the playoffs, he get that too. You know what I'm saying?
If they make it to the playoffs,
you don't have to deal. I mean.
Well, so let me. I'm about to jump into this now. Roger, you good, Raj? You still got a little more time, bro? You got to run on us, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, if you gonna jump away from Tebow, or you still on Tebow?
No, I'm about to. Unless you got something else to say about Tebow. Well, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna jump away from him. But
question.
Go ahead, go for it.
I was going to ask the important question, right? Because we're talking all that about Tebow. What are you going to do? All this. What I need to know is, are any one of you going to use one of your last fantasy draft picks to pick up Tim Tebow?
You know what?
Keep it a stat.
No. You know what? I would be the dude to do it. I probably would. Now the question is, when am I going to put this man in the game?
Right.
I don't know. Right? That'll be where we'll cross that hill when we get there. But I would if he's sitting out there, I'll draft that boy. Because the way Dante talking, he talking about he gonna get them touchdowns, the Mike All-Star touchdown.
If he makes the active roster
at the end of the season, that gonna go down great for me.
So Dante, but the way you explaining it though, the way you breaking it down, it looked like he's setting him up for success.
That's what I mean, Urban Meyer.
Y'all can't.
It sounds like the answer is yes for everybody.
So y'all drafting you drafting Dante, you drafting Doug on your fantasy team.
Fantasy for the sake of this year, since we're doing this podcast, I'm gonna have to do fantasy league this year.
I got to do it too.
I got to do it this.
So we doing a league. We doing a league together, y'all.
We're gonna have to.
All right, cool. We're gonna get the rest of the fellas in. We're gonna throw it in, and we're gonna post these scores and everything on the podcast so we can talk noise.
Right.
Man, we finna be drafting Tim Tebow in the 5th round, man.
Man, give me Tim Tebow in the 5th round.
Right.
I think if he to reiterate, I think if he makes the active roster because he's doing good by Urban Meyer by getting people to buy in behind the scenes.
Urban gonna put him in the game.
Urban Meyer's loyal.
And y'all think they gonna do that little?
If ever one thing, Urban Meyer's loyal. Like he hired that strength and conditioning coach,
right?
Even after knowing all this how it was gonna play out,
right?
And he basically was, I heard somebody say one time, like he's one of those guys who's like he just makes a move, and his explanation for it, it'll be fine. That's the explanation for it.
I can see it on his face right now.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I can see it on his face.
It'll work out. It's gonna be fine.
Y'all think they're gonna run a little play? That little jump play?
They better not. I swear I'll get my white Suburban draw down. You know why?
I know why, Doug. Why?
We was the guinea pig.
Oh,
we was the first team.
He did it on y'all?
In 2006.
First time.
In the swamp. The
at
first
UF.
time.
At UF.
Yep. And I remember that play like it was yesterday. I was playing buck linebacker on the line of scrimmage. And I ran the blitz. So I split the tight end in a tackle. Think I'm going to sack him. Left leg cramp. Locked up on me, right?
Cramp.
My hand was right there. Mine, right? Because he acted like he was going to run the ball. Right? So I'm about to get him. I'm about to make a Ray Lewis type.
Yeah,
play.
on national TV.
On national, with one leg.
Yeah.
I'm on one leg. I'm
Right.
gonna drag him down, man. Next thing he rise up, throw that thing, crowd go crazy, bro. They talk about that doggone pass like
Man, they do. We talking about it
Jesus
now.
the
man.
Last Supper, bro.
Hey, we talking about them ones right now. God, dog.
Oh, man, shout out Tim Tebow, man.
God, dog. Shout out to Tebow. So, all right. So here's why I'm kind of segueing with Tim Tebow, because what I realize is I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Roger can answer this too. Do y'all think that Tim Tebow would make any other roster in the NFL?
No, indeed.
Hell no.
I'm talking like not even the Jets, man. Like not.
Hell no.
No.
The reason
I'm talking about if he could come in and try it out, like he was trying out, because they ain't want him on the teams while he was playing, like Roger's talking, right? So,
like I said, the reason he wouldn't make it because he wouldn't be have an opportunity to make it.
so are we talking about good old boys? Are we talking about politics? Are we talking about that Tim Tebow is on a team? I'm not no diss on Tim. Tim, don't be mad at me if you hear this. You know what I'm saying? We love you, bro. All that good stuff, right? But are we saying that because he's got connections, it is the sole reason? Besides, he might still be athletic. I mean, you know, but one of the main number one reasons is because he got connections.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Anytime fitness athletic and NFL athletic is two different things.
Anytime fitness, say it again, bro.
Anytime fitness athleticism. I don't know if I said that right.
Athleticism, yeah, you read it.
Yeah. Anytime fitness, being athletic and anytime fitness is different than professional football athletic.
Hey, shout out to Anytime Fitness. Let's get that sponsorship right quick. But get this paper right quick. But that's a good point, bro.
Straight up.
That's a whole nother ball game. I think. So I see that now, right? And I'm about to really ask you some questions, Doug. We're gonna round this thing out, and then we'll end our first episode. It's been dope, though.
It's been
Yeah, bro. It's been 56 minutes, bro. But it's been good conversation. So I think people are gonna keep listening. It's dope.
Right.
But Raj been on this thing for doggone that 20 minutes now. Almost 20 minutes. Shout out to Raj. So
Yeah, bro.
So and I was asking you this the other day, Doug, it was off camera, and I'm asking you now. Well, let me set it up, because politics. So, you know, you work with young athletes. And Dante, you work with young athletes too, and with track and field, right? And so we're all around young athletes. We've seen around young athletes, and so we see them, they go into college. Everybody got this, and we were talking about this ball is life mentality. And what we're really trying to tell them, Doug, is true, that ball ain't life. Mm-hmm. Ball is a part of your life, but it's not the finish of your life. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you need to be thinking about other things. Then we start talking about how small the percentage is to make it to the next level. And that's just to get there. But then even to get there and succeed, the percentage, it gets even smaller, right? Mm-hmm. And I brought out a point too, and this is what a lot of people do. You know, I wasn't in athletics, but I dealt with a lot of high area echelon stuff in music. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that it doesn't matter how good your songs are. You can do all the stuff they tell you to grind all night and work and practice and stuff like that. And all that stuff is cool. You need to do that. But sometimes you can do all of that and still not make it to a high level unless you have connections, unless you have some kind of inside connection or inside scoop or inside, you know, something where, or you done went viral or something where you can get on the inside behind that curtain, right? So another part of that curtain is the politics, right? Mm-hmm. And you can tell me, you can speak to a little bit more, Doug, just play for the San Diego Chargers, right? Mm-hmm. For how many years you played for San Diego?
2.
2 years San Diego, and then you play for the Saints.
For like practice squad for the playoffs.
Right. But you in there.
Bro, I was in there.
You in there, and you in there coming from national championship, the national championship LSU, which is, I mean, to be honest, y'all's team. This is me talking. Y'all's team and a couple of teams before y'all, but especially y'all team, really kind of put LSU in that, because it really wasn't in that elite status of football programs. You know, LSU always had money and stuff like that, but I'm talking about a championship, you know, program. So that's a big deal, you know what I'm saying? And then being able to go across over and then go into the NFL, man, it's just so. Like, I mean, you can speak on it however you want, but I'm just thinking about the politics of it, because some of those kids think because you're good or because you're working hard that's going to get you there, and they need to understand it's a whole lot more than that.
It's not the case. Like, two things you have to have going for you playing. I'm just going to say, speak on NFL. Like, I didn't play basketball, obviously, but playing NFL, two things you got to have: health and relationships. If you, quote unquote, master your health and and just basically be lucky. But you also master relationships with coaches, general managers. You will last. If any one of those things are affected, they have to go together. You can't have a great relationship with the coaches and not stay healthy. You're gone.
That's
you can't have great health, have bad relationships. You're gone. Our special teams coach, Coach Crosby in San Diego, used to have a saying: "You can't make the club sitting in the tub." So, dude, I can remember.
That's dope.
I can remember, man. My rookie year, right? Even going to my second year of preseason ball, right? Going to my second year in San Diego, like I was balling, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was top 5 in preseason tackles, like I was balling. But my knee, dude, would literally swell up after every practice. Like, I'm talking about almost the size of a baseball. But I wouldn't go get treatment. I wouldn't go no cold tub. I wouldn't go get treatment.
Why?
I would get sent home. You get sent home. So it's a business model.
Oh, so if you went and got treatment, they're gonna send you home.
They have to report that. They have to report everything.
So you just like cover it up.
Man, if you get a bag of ice, it's documented.
Sheesh.
Yeah, because it's a business. Like you. I mean, they
doing the numbers, stats. They're doing the numbers. Okay, I got it.
They're investing in you. So
that's the analytics.
Right.
Got it.
So I wouldn't do it, man. I can remember
crazy.
this. I had like a little machine where I used to ice my knee every night, have compression. But I wouldn't go because I wanted to make the team. And so eventually I just couldn't do it. Like, man, I need help. And I took it off my sleeve, and it was so big, I almost popped the train in the eye. That's how big my knee was. And like, man, we got to do something, surgery and all that stuff. But the thing about what kids got to understand is, man, you got to be lucky. All right. I mean, let's just put it. And I don't even think you can be lucky. You can be blessed.
Whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, I don't even think, like, I just had, like, a couple weeks ago, I thought about something. I said, man, you know what? Sports and football, I know people, like, you know, be blessed with long careers, but they really ain't their purpose.
Right.
So I'm thinking, like,
I got
you know what I'm saying? If God really wanted to bless you with something, like, they really ain't your purpose. Because if it was your purpose, why so many of them struggle when it's over with? Because your purpose is a lifetime.
Come on, Doug.
But like the sports thing is temporary. So if it was really your purpose, right? If it's really what you was called to do when you were born,
your life, right,
for your
right.
life, when it's over, why we struggling? Why we don't know what to do?
Right.
And so, like you said earlier, we was talking about the image and likeness.
Bro.
Do not just get money just to shine and perpetrate on Instagram. Please don't do that.
Right, because that's gonna be.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're really about that, look, get your money by any means in college. But man, if you have opportunity to even do an internship or somewhere, or do that.
Get it, bro.
You see what I'm saying? Because, man, look, this stuff is real. We're gonna talk about this another because
I remember when I made 30 years old, right? And I remember when I made 30, and I remember some of the homeboys that went to the league, or different ones. And I remember I had made 30, but I was just thinking about what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm still thinking like, oh man, like the best is in front of me. And I had homeboys that ball was life. And I'm not knocking no Doug. I'm not, but they make 30 and that's their downtime for the career that they went the whole lives for. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that the mentality, I think what you're doing is great. Shout out to the Derek Beckwith Foundation.
Shout out.
What he's doing is working with these young guys to give them other options, other mentalities. It's not that you don't not that you don't have the mentality to work hard and really get to it, because you really need that. Now, I believe in that. In anything you're going to be elite at, you really have to give your life for it, right? But you can still do that and still have your mind focused, understanding that this ain't the end-all, be-all. I would like to say that sports, athletics would probably be a season of your life, but not necessarily your full season. You get what I'm saying? It's a part of your journey, but it may not be your purpose.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And I think that's what you're saying just a minute ago.
And the thing to help me transition, man, like, your brother told me something a long time ago.
Shout out to Buck.
Shout out to Buck,
Leroy
man.
Jenkins.
He probably like, man, y'all shut up.
I can hear him now. Don't be saying my name.
He said something to me a long time ago that kind of stuck with me, right? So it was two things actually, right? And so he was like, it would kind of help me with my transition. I was depressed.
Right.
So he was like, all right, it's God first, other second, you last. Okay.
Love it.
The other thing he said, football is what you do, right? But it's not who you are.
It's not who you are. That's powerful.
When he said that, I was like, dang, like, he right.
That's powerful, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So if they can take that, man, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, even female athletes. Like we always talking about the male athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a female athlete the other day, ran track at LSU, Saida Hines, bro, All-American LSU, and she said when she was done, she struggled. So it's on both. It's both spectrums,
because
right?
it's so much mentality and put in there, and I understand. But then it's like once you're finished, or once that is over, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of the things in life that really hinges on your age. Mm-hmm. It really hinges on age and health and time. Like you can't, we laugh about talking about LeBron, talking about he's gonna play till he's 50 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But let's say he did, he's still not gonna be. Right. He gonna deal with that withdrawal. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting too. I can't get into it right now because I want to wrap this up. But it's interesting too about the female athletes' name, image, and likeness. Mm-hmm. That's going to be interesting because I got a little niece that's about to go play college ball right now. I need to have these conversations. Oh my God! I know Leroy Jr. probably thinking about it already.
No, you know he is.
I know he already think about it already. I'm thinking about it too. We're gonna have this conversation,
and she gonna capitalize because she
gonna ball.
She a beast.
And she gonna ball. She gonna light them up over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but this has been dope, y'all. Roger, good.
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
Hey, bro, appreciate you coming through, bro. Via cell phone, you heard me, cellular device. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm gonna come on that video next time.
Yeah, man, we'll have a spot for you, bro. We'll be ready, bro. We'll be set up, bro. But this has been the Evergreen Podcast. It's been a great first episode, y'all. Y'all enjoyed it, man?
Yeah, man.
Hey, bro, hey, bro, I'm ready for the next one, bro. Like, let's go. Yeah, bro, when we do the next one, bro, we'll be back on the next episode. Share, like, subscribe, tell somebody about it or not. We don't care. We're gonna do what we do regardless. I ain't trying to be like that, but you know, we do want you to share, like, and subscribe. But you know, if you don't, we still gonna be back here next time for the next podcast.
Right.
It's the Evergreen Podcast. Shout out to Dante. Shout out to Doug. I'm your man DM. They call me Trails. If you hear him say Trail, my Trail, and all that, that's all the same dude. Got more names than Diddy. God bless y'all, and we'll see y'all next time. Let me throw my music on. And we out.
Yes, sir.
We out. All right, Raj.
All right, man.
Yep.